Hello, prisoners of Azkaban. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Boys, a fan fiction podcast by me, Radio Mike. Sammy Garlepp's back.
It's great. It's great to be back, Mike. My second time. He who must not be named has returned.
Are you here? You not must be.
It's actually a bit of a tongue twister. That's why it's always written down.
He who must not be named of this podcast is you. I didn't know that.
I think I'm more like he who must be named because no one knows who the hell I am.
Oh, right. Well, last week's episode with Tim McDonald felt it was appropriate to get you back for this episode because the first time you were on, which was maybe chapter 4 or 5?
I believe it was.
I'm not
going to go back and check, but you know.
So you obviously appeared early in the book. We're now actually midway through the book. So I just wanted to get you back on, I guess.
No, and it's great. I'd love that you got me back because, saw Tim on last week and got a bit of FOMO. Wanted to be back because we have our Tim and Sammy podcast.
Yes.
And I guess... I was on first, and then you got Tim on. It's kind of like when you had the first Dumbledore in the movies, and then that actor died, and then you brought in the less good one.
So are you saying you're the Richard Harris, and then Tim was the Michael Gambon who saw through the rest of the series?
Yeah, because the first, what's his name? Richard Harris.
Richard Harris, but Richard Harris,
Dick Harris to me, but
Dickie H for most of us. He loved
Dick.
that, yeah. But can I just point out a flaw? Dickie Harris never came back because he did die in real life, and it's not like Harry Potter where you can die and then just come back.
You don't know that.
It hasn't happened yet. Well, it happened in one book, the Bible.
and if you are listening, we encourage you to go out and get a Bible, read it, read the book, support
ancient authors. Get yourself a Bible, the original fan fiction. The Bible actually was the original fan fiction because it was a bunch of people who were mates with Jesus is this guy's great. We got to write a book about him.
And some of them wrote it quite everyone wrote their own version of it as well. That's why there's something got.
That's if there was multiple Harry Potter authors all writing about one real person called Harry Potter, right? And they are all sort of similar, but maybe in one, Professor Quirrell didn't have the turban, Maybe it's just slight differences, so we can never really be sure what happened.
I'm sorry, I would never want to watch that version. I like that. So Professor Quirrell had Voldemort on his head.
Yeah.
And he's thinking, okay, I need a way to fly under the radar here. How can I fit in to avoid suspicion? I know. A turban.
He probably tried one of those, those hats in Australia. I don't know if they have them international, but in Australia, particularly in primary schools, you have a hat that has a little floppy thing at the back.
It's called a Legionnaires hat.
Is that what it's called? A Legionnaires hat. Yeah, so
oh my God.
Quirrell just comes to Hogwarts with the Legionnaires.
I would watch that because he probably didn't know about them.
It's hey Quirrell, take your hat off. No, I'm not taking that off. Just keeping it on. Whatever. It's not sunny today. Yeah, but you never know.
Can always no play.
Does Hogwarts have a no hat, no play policy with witches' hats?
Oh,
you'd think not.
Oh, and the witches' hats. Oh, well, it depends which one we're talking about. The cone hats, which they use in the first movie,
yes,
offer no sun protection whatsoever.
No.
And I like that. I think the people making the movie were these are too much effort, aren't they? They didn't.
Movie 3, they get scrapped.
They did not come back.
Does Hogwarts have recess and lunch? You never really see that.
Yeah. You're actually right.
You never see what's for lunch. I got a chocolate frog and a bologna sandwich.
And a mandarin. That's right.
Mum sent it over with a howler. You never really see that.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, no, you definitely don't see people sitting in the shade when they don't have their witch's hat.
Well,
either.
Yeah. Well, so far we've gone for 5 minutes. We haven't even gotten into no, don't be sorry. It's been hilarious so far. One thing I wanted to do was a news segment because I have some news, and obviously, in the world of Harry Potter, I think we better open up the Daily Prophet.
Yes,
let's open up the Daily Prophet.
People who are watching, I was going to mime it like we were, but people who are watching will see that we don't actually have one.
No, we don't have a Daily Prophet, but I've got a bit of news from the Daily Prophet.
Okay. Rita Skeeter, go ahead.
Rita Skeeter, here's new article. Radio Mike, creator of this podcast,
I'm familiar,
will be at the opening night of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child
tomorrow
from the day of release and Friday. So I will be going to that on Thursday and Friday this week, and I will have a full bonus episode review of the entire play.
Wow.
Not you don't really care about that, but
have you seen it before?
I've never seen it. I have read the book version years ago.
Have
you seen it?
No, I haven't actually. Do you have a spare ticket?
I do not have a spare ticket.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's move on then.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted a crafty way to announce to the listeners that I will be doing that. So look out for a bonus review on the weekend of that. So that'll be a bit of fun.
That's all. And I thought the way you said it. So did you buy a ticket?
Yes. So someone bought tickets for me.
Sorry, I was imagining. Like, it sounded like you were saying you're the guest of honor. Like, this podcast has blown up.
I'm actually playing Harry, so it's pretty big now. No, I might camp out outside the green room and try and get some interviews with the actors. Just talk about their process.
Is this the Australian cast?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
all those famous
I'm
actors.
pretty sure we have
Millsy, probably Millsy. Rob Mills.
No, Guyton Grantley. Do you know Guyton?
Yeah, he's
Ron Weasley.
He isn't that the guy from Every Underbelly?
Yep.
Sorry, if you're not.
If you're not Australian, zone out now. This is not Harry Potter related. But yeah, Guyton Grantley is Ron, I believe.
That is Australian. Oh, I guess he's old now. Yeah, sorry, he's old in the thing.
Ron is old, but yeah.
Well, in other news,
there's a byline. There's a smaller article on the Daily Prophet
because we talked about when I was on here last about I discovered I was a Hufflepuff.
Yes.
Terribly, and I guess my news is because we already spoke about it. Yeah, I've got a girlfriend now. I'm telling as many people as I can.
Yes.
Got a girlfriend, and it almost ended once I had to reveal that I was a Hufflepuff.
Did it really? What house is your girlfriend?
She's Ravenclaw.
Oh, tell her about me. I'm a Ravenclaw too. Stick to your house.
Saying all that. No, you stay in your house. Stay in your tower. Yeah, Luna Lovegood type, if you know. No, sorry.
Oh, there you go. And congratulations to you.
I know, but yeah,
I'm sure she will be disappointed you've come back onto my podcast.
When she said when I said, I actually found out the other day I was a Hufflepuff, she's like, oh.
Well, we might have to talk about this later.
Yeah, so that's what I'm telling people now, because I think we're going to be broken up by the time this podcast comes out.
Chapter 25, we'll see how you're going. Hey, we launched a new segment on the show a few weeks ago. Yes. I don't think you've played this.
I haven't played it, but I'm sure I have listened to it, maybe.
And it is called this.
Sting in post-production. Okay, what does the sting say? Potter or not? Yeah, okay. You need to tell me that part as well.
All right, it is Potter or Notter. This is a pretty simple segment. I read 3 excerpts from a book. Could be Potter, could be Notter.
Okay.
And you have to tell me whether you think it is Potter or Notter. It's pretty self-explanatory.
I think sorry, the segment was self-explanatory. I think I'll be good at this.
Okay, cool. Well, we have 3. I've tried to actually purposely make it difficult today, not because of you, just because they always seem to be pretty easy.
I need a win today.
Okay. Well, here's what we've got. So here's our first one. You got to tell me, is this Potter or is this Notter? Okay. And keep in mind any character names. Say if they're not from... Actually, just...
I get it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. The first one is this. The tomb split open from head to foot. The shrouded figure was as long and thin as it had been in life. Is that Potter or is that Notter?
Well, I'm thinking... It sounds like the Bible, which we've already covered today. The tomb opening... no, the figure was long and thin. Who is a long and thin figure? The Weasley twins? Is it not just one?
Actually, in the books, the Weasley twins are actually described as being stout. So
really?
In the movies, they were ill casted because they are tall and lanky, but they were not supposed to be.
Well, I'll
interesting variation.
Yeah, interesting. That's debatable. But
having a word to the casting director. 20 years ago, when you casted Fred and George.
I mean, look at us. Well, look at me. I'm stout.
I'm stout too.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
We could be the Weasley twins. No, Potter or Notter?
I'm going to say Notter.
That was actually Potter.
No!
Chapter 24, The Wand Maker from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Oh, yeah. So is it... Oh, it's the tomb with Nurem guy. What's in Nurem? What?
Exactly that. Next one.
Okay, move on. Keep rolling.
Here we go. Is this Potter or Notter? Something woke Harry in the night. A sound, like the fluttering of wings or the rifling of pages. So it's sort of like a kind of sound.
Okay, if I could... Hang on, could I have that one more time?
Yep.
No, the sound.
Oh. You're Harry, so you're waking up in the middle of the night.
Oh, I'm so woken up. I'm going to say Notta.
You're correct. That's Notta.
Yes.
That is actually from the book Nevermore by Jessica Townsend, which is an Australian fantasy novel for kids.
Is it just one of the Is it just a book that you got in your room somewhere?
It is.
Also,
All of them are. Here's the final one, and I do prepare these in advance, so you tell me if this is Potter or Notta. While they were eating, Harry took the bread and blessed it. He broke the bread, gave it to his disciples, and said, "Take this, all of you, and eat it. This is my body, which has been given up for you."
Are you joking?
I'm not joking.
That's actually what you
I've
had
written it down. Is that Potter or is that Notta?
Mate, that is Notta. That's a whole lot of Bible.
Correct. That's Matthew from the Bible.
I can't believe that.
From Matthew's Gospel.
Guys, what are the chances of that coming up?
Can we also disclose there is no deep, dark Christian conspiracy to encourage people to read the Bible in this podcast?
Despite the fact that we've mentioned it 3 or 4 times already.
In fact, we're anti-Bible.
Yeah. When I said go read them, I meant go buy them, but then you burn them.
Don't burn the Don't burn a Bible.
That's going to be bad luck.
I mean, I'd burn one. No, I wouldn't.
If you do it, I do it. No, come on. No. All right, we'll talk off here.
All right, we've done Potter or Notta. We've opened. Oh yeah,
does that mean you have a Bible in the room as well?
No, I looked up. I actually just before starting today, I was like, what would just be a funny one? Because a few weeks ago, I'm not sure if you heard, but I had a Star Wars book. So the Potter or Notta for Zach Miller, who you know Zach Miller, yeah. It was ever since Harry was a slave on Tatooine, he had felt this way. So I just thought of a funnier one, which was the actual Bible.
Yep.
So there you go, guys. Maybe next week it'll be from the Quran, but we never know. Hey, shall we dive into the fanfic?
Yes.
All right. We are on to chapter 14. And last week was a half chapter. It was chapter 13 and a half. We don't know why.
Yes.
But Tim McDonald obviously read that. Did you hear last week's
Yeah,
ep?
did hear. I did hear, and because I heard myself mentioned in it.
Yeah,
so
great.
And I despite listened to it for my friend Tim.
Do you remember what happened? Could you give us a recap, or do you want me to?
I think I will need your recap because no, it was something about Mr. Charger. He ran into the classroom and then he ran out of the classroom. You know, you'd be better at it.
So we do. I mean, that's in essence, yes.
Zapatron.
They're in a defense against the dark arts / farts class, and Ron Weasley teaches them an ancient form of magic that is really difficult to use, called the elemental spells Articane, Molteno, and Zapatron, which have different effects, such as Articane making your thermostatic recognition disappear, and Zapatron being able to power any electronic device, which also created more questions because it's an ancient spell in a world where there's no electricity, really.
And you never saw that.
No, you never saw that coming, but that's kind of, we just sort of ended that class and it was revealed. Are you okay? You look like you're wincing a bit. Do you have like an eyelash stuck in your eye? Or are you is all of this really hard for you to hear? You're crying.
I'm just upset about how beautiful the writing is and how original.
Mate, it's not the Bible.
But I'm sorry. It's now coming back to me that most of the writing you've got. You've ripped off things from the Bible probably, but then you've ripped off Family Guy, Pokemon,
the Amanda Show in one chapter,
The Simpsons.
Has there been a Simpsons ripoff? I'm sure there's one coming. Yeah,
I was going to say I can't wait to see what you rip off today.
Okay, so and one last thing. It was revealed that no wizard has ever used these spells for many, many years, except apparently, as you alluded to, Mr. Charger comes into the room, slaps Ron gently across the face and says, "I've used Zapatron," which we don't really know the gravity of that.
I love it because that slap was very, very funny. It's just very condescending.
A light little slap on the face, yeah. Shall we dive into chapter 14?
Yeah, and I'm ready. I'm excited because 14 chapters in, 13 and a half chapters in, and from memory, we've got to day 2 of Hogwarts term. I'm pretty sure.
I think we're we've come pretty far now.
How many chapters are there? Anyway,
I think we're about halfway through the book now, so we're getting there, guys.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Well, if this was a real book, hypothetically.
I mean,
people would read.
It is a real book.
One of the people would read. How much do you think would have happened by this time? Anyway,
I think for next week I should learn what happens halfway through the Philosopher's Stone. Where are we up to at that point?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that might be a good reference.
Okay.
But Here we go. Chapter 14, Sammy Garlepp's back.
And we usually start by reading the title of the chapter.
We do. Yeah, you've done this before.
I'm just trying to take all your lines. Chapter 14, a sequence of ill-fated measures.
Now, you did say, I do remember this actually as a kid. You did say, what am I going to rip off next?
Oh my God, yeah. That was...
Well... If you right click on Microsoft Words and go synonyms for a series of unfortunate events, you get a sequence of ill-fated measures.
I actually did not see the title before I said that, but I can't wait to
see what we rip off. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Some more Dickensian prose here. The boys couldn't believe it. It was already the last week of term.
Well, there you go.
Wow, so more time has...
What's the last week
the
of
readers
term?
can't believe it either because we just did the sorting. Day one of class now.
You'd think a term is 10 weeks or so. So we're 10 weeks in, I guess.
Do they have an end of term? I always just had mid-year was there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
What do you think? They go...
We'll have to ask Pottermore.
Not since they put me in Hufflepuff. I'm off that site. Okay. Time had flown by.
Not for us. It's been 14 weeks for us.
And not for listeners of this podcast. That's for sure.
and if there are 4 terms, then man, we've got a long time till we get to term 3.
At 50 more chapters. Or it's exponential, so it's, they sat in... We don't know who... Oh, the boys, I guess.
The boys, yeah.
They sat in the Gryffindor common room, reminiscing about what had happened already. That would make in brackets, that would make an autumn montage. Oh, fuck. I can't read. In brackets, that would make an awesome montage scene if this was ever to become a movie.
So never.
But like, thanks to the narrator, like, imagine, and also, no, it wouldn't. Yeah. The montage
of like, wow,
we're here, and now we're getting sorted, and now Mr. Charge, Mr. Charge is shooting something at his asshole. That would be quite.
But also, like, reminiscing about everything that's happened. Like what? Like you've summed them up. There's a couple things have happened.
Were they reminiscing about learning everyone's names, which we still haven't done? Anyway,
montage, nice.
And are they just sitting around? Who just sits around in a room and just let's reminisce about? Yeah.
What happened this bloody term? Transfiguration was cool.
Oh, teacups, ferrets, all that stuff. Remember when the teacher tortured us? That was fun, wasn't it?
That was weird, but cool.
Yeah.
Retrospectively, cool. We needed it.
Actually, they could reminisce on the fact that one of the kids got killed, didn't they?
Several of the kids. I think that was your chapter.
Yeah.
When 100 of the kids got crushed by Hagrid or something.
Remember those kids?
I guess a lot of things have happened.
Most of them was in the first day.
But before school had even started.
Yeah. Okay. The boys decided to go for a walk down to Hagrid's hut. This is the most normal chapter I've had so far. It's actually disturbing. As they walked across the grounds, they met Harold, the weird, idiotic 5th-year boy with the star-shaped birthmark on his head that they had met on the train.
Really?
When they had met on the train at the start of term.
Yeah, it's really like eventually J.K. Rowling decides, okay, they know who Draco Malfoy is now. Like, she's not like, it was the boy that Harry met in first year when outside the Great Hall who had blonde hair. Like,
his blonde hair slicked back as it always was.
But like this character Harold, who just seems to randomly pop in and out of the story. Mm-hmm. Every time he appears, I have to remind the viewers about the star-shaped birthmark on his head and the meeting him on the train.
Yeah, which I remember the star-shaped birthmark.
Well, I think it's going to be a key plot point of the book.
Okay, here we
go.
We'll
see.
Why, hello there, he said. Hi, said Michael, still noticing the strange birthmark on his head that seemed to stick out more than anything. That seemed to be shaped like a star, I believe it was. That seemed to stick out.
5 points. 5 triangular points on the left side of his forehead.
In an arrangement like something out of the night sky.
But not the moon. Or any clouds.
Or any helicopters or aeroplanes, anything. It was a star. It was actually shaped like a star.
If you were to mistake a helicopter for a shooting star, take away the shooting, you've got the shape of the birthmark.
The shape of this guy's grubby birthmark. No, people that's normal.
We've all got them.
Yep, probably.
Do you?
If this wasn't also being filmed, I would show you.
Oh, interesting. Well, Dumbledore in the book. Sorry, we are deviating.
Does Dumbledore have a birthmark?
Dumbledore. Oh no, he has a scar that's in. He reckons is a perfect map of the London Underground, which seems highly suspect. That sounds like he's done it himself in some kind of urgent situation.
And where was that? Like, did he ever show anyone?
I don't know. Could be on his bum.
Yeah, and there was people had a. It probably was on his bum. There were random rumors about Dumbledore, wasn't there?
Like what?
Oh, like about Dumbledore and Harry's relationship being
like during school.
I
have never heard these.
Am I projecting this?
I feel like this is not a topic we should be getting into.
It shouldn't. No, it shouldn't. I just thought, okay, sure. Let's move on.
Yes.
Harold walked away and muttered something under his breath.
Oh.
Nothing about Dumbledore. No. That's true.
We swear nothing about Dumbledore.
Yeah. The boys knocked on... Okay, that was it. Okay.
That's it.
See you, Harold. The boys knocked on the door of Hagrid's hut. Hi, Hagrid, they all said. In perfect unison, I imagine. Goodbye, Hagrid replied.
What? I don't know if you heard another chapter which was the only other appearance of Hagrid so far after your chapter, but it was with Lewis Spears, and it was they go to Hagrid's hut. They're like, "Hi, Hagrid," and Hagrid says, "You better go to potions now," without saying anything else. They go to potions, and then they go back to Hagrid's, and again they go, "Hi, Hagrid," and he goes, "You better go to potions now," again. And then this time they're like, "Hi, Hagrid," and he's just like, "Goodbye," and he just slams the door back in their face.
Does he hate them? Is in his version and yours?
Maybe he's like got a warning like, "Hagrid, we don't think you should be talking to the students as much because there's some rumors going around back when Harry was at school. You spent a bit of time with him, so I think maybe Hagrid just doesn't want to spend time with students."
Well, I also imagine this is 50 years on, or however many it was, from
Deathly Hallows. Yeah.
Hagrid's probably pretty old by now.
He's very old,
It sounds a bit dementia-ish.
Possibly.
As I believe the medical term is.
Well, you are dating a doctor now, so I trust you.
Okay. Madame Pomfrey is who I'm dating. Anyway.
She's a nurse.
You can't let it be.
Sorry, guys, let's go.
No, but we are... Obviously, this podcast is about accuracy to the
source material.
The source material. Okay. Hi, Hagrid, they all say. Goodbye, Hagrid replied, sticking up his rude finger and slamming the door in their faces. He sounds like a punk.
These boys are just like, what did we ever bloody do to Hagrid?
And also just thinking, like, we're so annoying because Hagrid's hut wasn't that close to the actual school. Like, it's a bit of a trek.
Yeah, no, that's why none of the students go there.
Oh my god! Then all the way back. I would hate that.
Me too.
As soon as the door slammed, a piece of paper fell from the air. Lockie picked it up and read it. Okay, here we go.
So this is what's written on the piece of paper, I believe.
This is what's written on the piece of paper. It starts with an R.
The letter R.
The letter R.
For Robert.
We assume.
Yes.
Sorry. Now I see what you're saying. You're not...
Sorry. What I'm saying is, like, if one of the listeners thought that it was the word, like, R, like you are here. Like, it is the letter R for Robert. That's what I was saying. And
here I am. I assume Robert starts with R, but I have never met one. So I don't know. Okay.
Good, sorry.
We are now going to confirm. Robert does start with R.
Yeah.
This R is not specifically for Robert.
It could be, but we don't know.
But it's R, then a colon.
Yeah.
And I think from now on, I might just read this book letter by letter. So the next letter, T. For Tom, we assume. We can only guess.
No, but this is going to be a long episode so far.
The letter R. Mm-hmm. Okay. R. The first ill-fated measure. Hagrid flips you off and rejects you.
Hagrid, not Harrod.
Oh. Hagrid flips you off and rejects you.
So this is the first ill-fated measure of the sequence that we've been promised.
Oh, so Hagrid knows about it, or
well,
something.
We don't know. Someone knows about
Someone
it. Could
knows
be
about
R.
Okay.
As in the letter.
Yeah. or Robert. Okay, they all looked at the note. What the heck is an ill-fated measure? Asked Luke.
Fair question.
Fair question. Luke, did you just say heck? Could you at least say fuck? This is what it says. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to swear, but you're swearing.
No, you are.
Could you at least say fuck? This isn't some fucking baby book for babies. If we wanted to read a baby book, we would go to the baby shop. Okay, Luke, you baby? Said Rob.
So
what the fuck?
So Luke's done the polite thing. He said, "What the heck is this all about?" Luke, and Rob's just like, "Mate, at least say fuck." Jesus Christ,
we're not fucking losers over here.
It's like if Ron was like, "What the bloody hell is this?" and Harry's like, "Ron, at least say fuck."
Yeah, because Ron was always going, "Blimey."
Yeah. It's like, Ron, we're sick of this shit. We're not babies anymore.
At least say, "Holy fuck. What the hell's going on here?" Fucking spiders. I fucking hate spiders.
Ron, too much.
Yeah,
too much, Ron.
Yeah.
Use one fuck a page. All right, so while this crazy thing has happened, sorry, you go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, Rob is also pointed out, Rob is aware that this is a book. This isn't some fucking baby book for babies.
If we want... Sorry,
Rob, the character, it's not even the narrator anymore. You've lost all sense.
He's just saying, if we wanted to read a baby book, we would knowing this is a book, like, hey, we're in an adult book, use adult language, please.
So Rob's acknowledging I'm in a book. Okay. Okay, Luke, you baby, said Rob. Luke began to cry and ran away. Well, that's reasonable.
As he would.
I would probably cry. Did you ever cry at school?
Oh, so many times at school.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Year 7 to year 9, cry baby. Year 10 to 12.
Why'd you cry so much?
I don't know. Just didn't like getting in trouble.
Sorry, Matt. And I feel like you get in trouble not because you were like doing bad stuff, but more because like you're annoying.
Can I tell you sorry. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
No, I might have to off-air tell you a detour story because it's just not relevant at all.
We'll do a bonus episode.
We'll do a bonus ep after this. Yeah.
Bonus episode on the story from our high school. Yeah. All right. And what does the R mean? Asked Lockie, completely ignoring everything that had just happened.
Now, for a side note for the readers, the story that I am going to tell you in the bonus episode revolves around me and Lockie, the character that character is based on, the person that character is based on, my friend Lockie from school. There you
Shout
go.
out to Lockie if you're listening.
Bonus episode.
The boys walked down to the Gryffindor common room, but before they could enter, Mr. Charger appeared next to Harold, who seemed to be popping up a lot lately. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling. Oh, this Voldemort character seems to be popping up in a couple of the books. Keep an eye on him.
Something might go on there. I'd never noticed her doing that.
Yeah, it's in there. It's in there in some books.
I just remembered, Mr. Charger said, looking at the boys. Fucking hell, Mike. Back in chapter 8 or something, you never served your detentions that I gave you a few chapters ago. What?
This is too much.
Every character knows they're in a book. Now I feel like I'm having this existential crisis.
You're in a book.
Am I in a book? I think I'm living. Is someone reading me right now?
Well, that's what it's like for these characters.
Although I gotta say, if there's a book of I wouldn't be reading my book of my life.
It's like if there's a podcast in another realm that's like Sam questioned whether the podcast was actually a book and that's their book. That'd be crazy.
And almost as uninteresting as... No, okay. I'm actually saying. Okay, well, that's crazy. Great. Well, let's move on.
Can we put it out to any of the listeners? If you want to write the Sam and Mike do Harry Potter and the Boys fan fiction, feel free to do that.
Yes.
For next week.
I would love to have a fan fiction about me.
Another bonus ep.
Yeah. Although some of the fan fictions get a bit how you going as well.
Oh, hey man, open to it. But you've got a girlfriend.
But maybe in this fiction, I myself.
I don't have a girlfriend.
The ones I like are like the Hermione Malfoy.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
there's a few fan videos or fan fictions about
Yeah,
them.
because you just know, like, they don't want to, but they want to.
Yeah.
Like, there's like this unspoken attraction between them kind of thing.
Malfoy is like the forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
In the Forbidden Forest. Anyway.
Presumably Hermione is Eve then, going back to the Bible analogy. So does that make Ron Adam?
Well, don't want to spoil the Bible for you, but
That's the first chapter.
doesn't end.
Go check it out, guys.
And then burn it.
Yeah.
Burn them all.
All right, we've made such little progress in the fanfic.
Well, I can't. Okay. Because
All right, here we go.
my last chapter was so short, and this
Yeah,
one.
this
is
one.
less.
Yeah.
Okay. So they never served that detention.
Yep.
The detention I gave you a few chapters ago. I don't know why. It could have been because of the idiot author of this poorly written novel forgot about it and just remembered it now. Oh my
Probably true. Whoever that guy is.
You know, I wish I could give you a detention. Go back. They probably gave you detentions because you were writing this stupid book every time. Go get Derrickson and meet me in the dungeons now.
So can you just do detention whenever? Like,
Yeah, don't you have...
Sorry, we've got a class, detention.
Too bad. You get a detention. Where's that? In another class. Okay. Doesn't actually seem worse than... Actually doesn't really seem like much of a punishment because we always have to go... Okay, sure.
No, double detention.
Double.
But that goes through your class. Yeah, triple.
And if you don't turn up to my class, because your detention, another detention.
Oh, God.
Okay. Oh, my God. Okay, another note fell from the sky. It read, "Oh."
The letter O for, oh my God, this is fucked.
Letter, yeah, we assume. The second ill-fated measure.
Some real year 7 language coming up here.
Second ill-fated measure. Suck a chode, you got detention.
Now we all know that a chode is a penis that is wider than it is long, which is
Small fat penis.
yes, and you would often, as a year 7, when you don't really know much about sex or penises, a common insult would be, "You've got a chode."
Yeah.
You're a chode.
You are a chode.
Yeah.
Calling someone a chode, that was an insult. And you know what? We're all just protecting because we're all afraid that we all had chodes.
Which we don't. But if you do, it's okay. And if you want to suck one, it is fine as well.
We don't.
I swear.
We don't.
I'll show you. No, I won't.
No, but if you're watching it on the YouTube, you guys get that special treat.
Oh, God.
That is a great insult, though. Oh, I forgot it. I don't know why I stopped using it, but anyway. You suck a chode. Who's saying this? Who's writing?
I haven't even thought about chodes since year 7. At a really,
That's kind of a good thing, I'd say.
interesting period of my first year of uni.
Yeah. I oft think of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Actually, just to take a
We're
quick
never going to
pause.
finish this one.
No, but this is possibly right. I'm wondering who is writing these ill-fated measures, and I think this is the most intrigued I've been in this entire book.
But I feel like last chapter we learnt about the elemental spells. Presumably they never come back, right? Like, who knows what this could lead to? Like,
I hope this comes back. Okay, yep, suck a chode, attention. Could that be true? Said Rob. What? Asked Tom. There's a Tom in this? Okay.
yeah, there is a Tom. His twin is Sam.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I like it as a character name. Nothing. Could our life really just be a novel, like Mr. Charger said? Oh, no. I hate this chapter. Is there someone out there writing our life? Is our author that lazy? Said Rob. Did you have someone to be when you were writing this chapter? Oh, is our author that lazy? Probably. So I feel like I insult you a lot, but
No, mate.
well,
Believe me, I've heard it.
with another great Dumbledore line of the, takes a great deal of courage to stand up to our enemies. A great deal more to stand up to our friends. But they say it takes a great deal more, but I'm actually finding it very easy to absolutely give you a rinse.
Like, if your worst enemy just burst into the room right now, you wouldn't feel too comfortable just...
No, I'd be scared. But then they'd leave and I'd say, well, how the fuck did you let them in? You fucking
Again,
chode?
standing up to me, really easy. Yeah, call me a chode.
Oh, Rob, be quiet, said Simba, a character from a Disney movie called The Lion King. What?
Now, that's the beauty of being an author. You can just create worlds.
Be quiet, said Simba, a character from a Disney movie called The Lion King. Firstly, everyone knows The Lion King. That Simba is in the book.
And also, it raises other questions. Is this Simba pre the death of Mufasa? Is it in the Timon and Pumbaa period? In which case, was there a multiverse kind of thing happening? Or is it is it in the future, past Lion King? We don't really know.
I don't know what the hell.
Or we can only assume that Simba is now a student at Hogwarts, in which case he would be a Gryffindor, while Scar would be a Slytherin.
Yes. Okay, I'm glad
That's what we do know.
I'm glad we got to that conclusion as quickly as possible. Completely agree. Oh, wow. Simba. Well, I'm glad to see him. I mean...
Seems to be doing okay.
I wonder if... Well, that it does kind of sound like a spell. Hakuna Matata could be a spell. Okay. I'm just going to roll past that.
Yeah, roll past it.
Oh, come on, Rob. Not even I would believe that our lives are just part of a book that is being written by someone. That's crazy. We go to a fucking school for magic, replied Michael.
And good to see that fuck is being used now.
And I appreciate you've spelt it fucking F-U-C-K-E-N.
Yeah, I like that spelling.
That's my favourite spelling.
Yeah, I like it too. Okay, so not much has happened so far. You did at the start of the chapter say, hey, I'm looking forward. Like, it seems like a lot's happening. Not much. They're just questioning whether they're in a book.
Yeah, so, I mean, and we've all had those existential crises.
Yes.
Are we in a book?
We did just before, 3 minutes ago.
Exactly. I've already forgotten. Time for potions. No. The boys walked down to the dungeon with Derrick. We're going on an adventure, said Derrick. Okay, when did he come from? Yes, Derrick. A magical and wonderful adventure, said Tom. Yay, said Derrick. Action man, does whatever an action can. He sung to the tune of the Spider-Man song. So Action Man, Action Man.
Do you remember Action Man?
Yeah, of course I remember Action Man.
I think Action Man was G.I. Joe. Like in America, it was G.I. Joe. In Australia, it was Action Man.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. And what we can assume is that Derrick has an Action Man doll at home for some reason.
I had one.
Yeah, me too. But the weirdest part is he knows about the Spider-Man song, but he somehow confused Spider-Man and Action Man, who have very different powers.
I don't know if Action Man has powers. I think
he's just a GI.
I thought it was just
an army guy.
Hot guy. Yeah. He's not a chode, that's for sure.
Action Man actually strikes me as someone who would have a chode.
Oh yeah, he's overcompensating.
I reckon someone like The Rock, I can imagine having a chode.
Yeah.
Or like Vin Diesel, those big buff guys.
I think you just want them to have one. 'Cause you're like, sure, they can't have it all.
None of us can.
Actually, Action Man, he didn't have one. Even worse, he was all smooth down there.
Yeah, he didn't have anything. He had the Ken doll. Yeah. I wonder if he knew Ken. Well, if that could happen in any universe, it's this one.
If someone wants to write a fan fiction
about Action Man meeting Ken,
I'm sure it's been written just in the depths of the internet. Okay, to the Spider-Man song. They arrived at the dungeons to find Mr. Charger there. Hello, stupid boys, Mr. Charger said idiotly.
Which is not a word.
That's not a word.
Idiotically, which I have used previously in
also
the book.
been misspelt though. Don't worry, I know that much. Imagine if your teacher's like, hello, hey, g'day idiots. G'day you dumb
you could maybe use idiots in jest, but you wouldn't do it in front of the principal. No. That's what I'd think.
Yeah. That's good you've got standards. You can start your detention by cleaning all my windows. Okay.
That's a good detention task.
That's good. The boys looked around. There were no windows.
Oh, that is the dungeons.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't think there'd be.
Derrick started to sing the Action Man song that was briefly mentioned before. I mean, we kind of...
it was
in the second...
2 lines ago.
Oh, here we go. Oh, you like singing, hey? Mr. Charger shouted as he took 5 steps in a northwesterly direction.
He's got a compass.
You like singing? Well, wait until I go over here 5 steps. Hang on, and let me just Turn around, look at my map.
God.
You're like, why don't you, I was going to bring this up. He goes, why don't you join a choir then? You singing idiot, he said. I mean, that's a reasonable
thing to say to a student.
Yeah, I mean, without the singing idiot part,
Yeah.
You like singing,
join a choir. Take advantage of all the opportunities Hogwarts offers.
Yeah, I actually probably read that in the wrong time. Hey, you like singing, hey? Hey, you should join the choir, man.
Oh, nah. I'm not that good.
Oh, come on. Because you could be in the choir. Because I know that Jack Post, when he was on, he brought a song. I didn't. I thought about it.
Yes, but you don't have to. It's not an entry requirement.
But the time you do see, I think the Hogwarts choir does actually pop up. But they don't actually talk about joining the choir. But there is a choir at Hogwarts. They sing the song.
Something wicked. Yeah, something wicked this way comes.
Oh, you actually know it.
It's like bubble, 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 toil and trouble. Na, 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 bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Something wicked this way comes. That's loosely it. I don't know.
You know what? I actually baited you into that.
Did you want me to do that?
Yes, because I thought Mike's going to know this off by
Yeah,
heart.
of course I do. Love that song. It's on my Spotify playlist.
I wonder if they actually believe you.
No, it's not. I don't think it's on Spotify. If it is, I want it to be.
And in that choir, didn't they use the frogs or?
Yeah, the frogs must have had sheet music to know when to come in. Cause, yeah.
I don't remember that being an option as a musical instrument at my school.
Play the frog.
I'll play the frog. Derrick, after the singing idiot, he said, Derrick started to cry until Mr. Charger said, oh, no, seriously, you should join the Jim Wilkins choir.
What is the Jim Wilkins
Who's Jim
choir?
Wilkins? That's another character.
Is he just some guy who contracts choirs to school? It's like, g'day guys, I'm Jim Wilkins. I do
choirs. You want a choir? You got one. I like boys. I like boys singing. I mean, I like some singing boys. Come on in.
But is Jim Wilkins a professor? Like we might find out.
It's like Jim's mowing, Jim's antennas, Jim's choir. He does everything.
Because there is a Jim's for everything now.
Yeah.
Like if you're not, I don't know if they have it out of Melbourne, but like there's a Jim's mowing, Jim's insect removal,
Jim's electrical, Jim's dog washing,
Jim's guard, like everything.
Yeah, Jim's
could be part of the Jim network. The Jim Wilkins choir.
Jim Wilkins choir. Harold, the 5th year kid in this book, oh fuck, who is in the back room of the class now, is in it. I'm good friends with their leader, Jim Wilkins.
Which makes sense that he's the leader.
I love singing. What is that? Is this Mr. Charger saying this?
I think so. A real change in character for him.
Sorry, Mr. Charger. I'm good friends with their leader, Jim Wilkins. I love singing. Come with me to the back of the class. I have some pamphlets.
Also interesting, Harold and Mr. Charger seem to be around each other a lot. So that might be, could be coincidental.
But Harold does seem to be popping a lot. Popping up a lot.
Especially in this chapter.
There's some pamphlets. Oh, I like to think that this is because maybe you're in the choir at school and maybe you were getting some negative feedback.
Yeah, I was in the choir, yeah.
Yeah, and then...
Yeah, lots of choir satire, or as I like to call it, saquire, in this book, I believe, based on my choir experiences.
Oh, Mike, that kind of joke's going to get a lot of treble. Okay. But I like to think that you're like, I wish the teachers would react like this to me being in the choir. So he had some pamphlets at the back. He said as he and Derrick walked to the back of the class. Derrick was smiling fuckheadedly.
Okay, another word that's not really a word,
but it's a good one.
A fuckheadedly long walk.
I'm trying to think of a fuckheaded smile, just like
a fuckheaded chode.
A fuckheaded chody smile. And you boys, get to work on those windows. But sir, there are no windows, said Lockie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
Excuse me? Sorry? What was that? Pardon? Said Mr. Charger. Very efficient writing here. I like it. He took out a wand and waved it, saying, Windowus Aperio.
A pretty self-explanatory spell. What do you think that does?
Yeah, it sounds like the Taiwanese translation. reference to one of the other weeks.
That was in another episode. Thank you for listening.
Suddenly, 999 trillion, 86 billion, 21 million, 866,421 windows appeared on the wall.
It's oddly specific. You'd think that number does come into play later on.
I'm sure. And they're probably pretty small windows, though, if there's that many. You couldn't fit them all.
How big's the dungeon?
Exactly. So that wouldn't be that too bad. So this note fell from the sky.
Another note
and
fell
it
from the
reads,
sky.
N.
N for Nelly.
We assume.
N for never going to read this chapter again.
Oh, N for no way you've made it this far in the podcast. The third ill-fated measure, you have to clean windows.
Okay, so the ill-fated measures seem to be slight inconveniences that happen to the boys in their day-to-day lives.
Look, these aren't actually that... It's not actually that impressive, these notes of falling... Because
no, I mean...
The notes are always coming after the event.
Yeah,
so
it's
someone
not like
could be...
foretelling it.
Yeah, so it's just like, this is what you're about to do.
And it's certainly not... You can't compare this to the series of unfortunate events where I believe the children in that book, their parents perished in a fire and they were then... hunted for the rest of their childhood by a man who was a distant relative of them who tried to marry the daughter underage to reap their fortune.
Very accurate.
Not similar to this.
Although, I mean, not in this one, but Harry, his parents are dead.
That's true.
And a guy tried to kill him.
That's true. Very similar.
And,
You're right. You're right, Sam.
Yeah,
You're always right, Sam.
So
You're
edit
always
that out.
right.
Edit point here. No. After 10 minutes of scrubbing windows, Rob spoke up loudly. Guys, remember how Jeremy told me that Mr. Charger was a squib?
Interesting. And do you know what a squib is? Have we...
I know what a squib is.
Yes. Okay. Well, then assuming everyone does know that, let's continue.
Yep. And let's not explain it. But yeah, said Michael. Well then, how did he do that magic and make these windows appear? Rob said. Yeah. WTF, said Sam. Now, I wonder if you said WTF or you were just lazy enough you didn't want to write what the fuck.
I'm not sure.
But
also, these are good points the boys are making. There is something going on here. I feel like every chapter of this book, my thought is there is something going on here, but it just never pays off.
I know that we need... You're teasing us so much. It's always set up. It's never resolution.
Yeah, it's basically like the whole book is a next time on Harry Potter and the Boys.
What could this be? What could that be? Well, and I bet you we're going to get to the end and it'll be like, find out next book. Or something, I don't know. Also, yesterday, Professor... Wait a second. Sam, did you just say WTF in real life? I should stop stopping. We should stop analysing the sentences because
you can't do sentence by sentence reviews of this book.
Okay, despite the fact we're doing it right now, but from now on we might not do it.
No,
because
we might
because you seem to explain it
immediately. It seems like everything is deliberately done. The sign of a true author.
Oh, and
nothing should be in the book that doesn't become relevant later.
And you're constantly explaining everything in the book. So yeah.
Someone sent me I was talking to a friend this week and she was like, I think in real life in a phone call, I was explaining something that I had just said and she's like, oh, this is exactly like your Harry Potter book. Like, you're just explaining shit.
I don't believe that.
Nothing. No, that's true. What?
Oh, that was so low hanging fruit.
Well, what do you mean?
I was implying you didn't have... Oh, now I'm explaining it.
Well, I don't understand.
I was implying you didn't have a friend.
Oh,
Wow.
I do have some friends. Some have dropped off since the starting of this podcast.
Many of them, I imagine. Okay.
Tim from last week, he hasn't returned any of my calls since last week. Do you know about that?
No, I was just with him, but he didn't mention it. Sam, did you just say WTF in real life? Seriously, we're at Hogwarts. I don't even think wizards have internet.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I wonder if the protective spells around Hogwarts do interrupt with the Wi-Fi, which... So why would you be using internet lingo like WTF? Seriously, Sam, shut up. Anyway, okay. Professor Brown said yesterday, at 10, one will die. Rob proclaimed piss-offedly.
Pissed off.
Pissed offly.
Pissed offly. So that did happen a few chapters ago, which was apparently yesterday in the time of the book. But a few chapters ago, Professor Brown just did say, at 10, one will die. I believe that may be the 10 ill-fated measures, possibly.
And Professor Brown...
Lavender Brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
She's the divination teacher.
Oh.
Yeah. So it kind of makes sense.
Her and Ron still, bumping uglies.
Well, we talked on Tim's episode. We don't know, really, because Hermione is Hermione Granger. Ron is Ron Weasley. Brown, Professor... Maybe they're in a thronomagous relationship, which is a polyamorous, I believe.
Good, you got there. Because you wonder with teachers, like I always thought, the teacher's really boring and all that, but then you realise that maybe they're not. So they might have some weird...
Possibly.
Sexual things going on.
No, well, we don't talk about bloody sexual stuff on this show.
Bloody show. You bloody chode. Okay. That must be when we get 10 ill-fated measures, said Michael.
Again, we don't have to... we clearly don't have to stop.
Oh, really, Michael? Really? I couldn't figure that out myself? Really? Do you really think that's right? Are you sure? Said Rob.
It is actually like the author literally predicts every train of thought that the reader is having and just writes it down.
Rob, you're starting to become a massive dickhead, Michael lolled.
Okay.
Another note fell from the sky. W for Willie.
Jim Wilkins. Well, not Jim Wilkins, but Wilkins of the Jim Wilkins Choir.
W, Rob is a dickhead. Well, yeah, I guess that did just happen.
Yeah.
Great. Let's move on quickly. Who is sending these notes? Asked Michael. Well, at least that one didn't count as an ill-fated measure, said Sam. But another note fell from the sky. E. Yes, it did. So does this one.
So you've got to think it's someone in the room that's doing it.
Yeah.
It's either one of the boys is maybe evil and is doing it, or it's Mr. Charger, Harold, or Derrick that's doing this.
They're listening in real time.
Yeah.
They're making these notes, probably from magic.
Yeah. That's what we can assume. Okay. I think we're nearly done with the chappy.
But that's 5, said Lockie. And then another note, we assume fell from the sky, because you don't actually write that anywhere. A, :
for apple,
the forbidden fruit in the Bible.
Adam
as well.
One of the eaters of the forbidden fruit from the Bible, and apple tree, the bearer of the apple on the from the chapter 1 of the Bible. Go and read it now. It's on sale.
Available at all good bookstores.
And probably a church.
Just swiping one from there, actually. Especially the one at the front. They don't use it that often. A, you can count. We'll figure this one out. 5 + 1 equals. And that's what's written on the note.
Yeah.
5 + 1 equals. Oh, I know. It's 6. Guys, it's 6. The answer is 6. Derrick screamed happily. He had just come out of the back room with Harold, who was reading through some pamphlets for that choir before, or whatever. I like that. Before, I'm not sure if this part is on the recording, but before we started the podcast, I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
And you might have been insulted, but you're saying it about your own book as you write the book.
I'll put that at the end of the podcast for audio listeners, just how this podcast started. Sam couldn't sound less interested in doing this.
But I'm a good actor.
I'm pretty sure I was like, are you ready to start? And you're just like, yeah, whatever. It's like, I can be.
So I G myself up. Oh, or whatever. Okay.
And interestingly, Derrick and Harold both emerge from the back room. There's something weird going on here.
Shit, said Rob. Another note. S, :
S for
Sammy.
Cool.
S, don't swear.
I was going to say Samuel, a character in the Bible.
And in this book. S, don't swear. 7, in capital letters in the note. It's very confusing because the notes keep coming, but it doesn't actually
say that there's
so I can't read it.
They're italicized, so it's clear. Like
I should have.
You should have. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, you should have.
But said Michael. But he was cut off by Rob, who put his finger to his mouth, and Michael knew what this meant. He bit.
Be quiet.
I assumed, be quiet. he bit down on the finger and ate it off. So Michael just bit Rob's finger off. Yeah. Sorry, and then the next line, why did you do that? Rob asked in a lot of pain.
A good question. If someone bites your finger off, it's a lot of force to actually bite a finger off.
Fully bite it off, and then for Rob just go, you right there?
Yeah, you right?
Hello? My finger much? No, whoa. Whoa. Not how that was meant to come out.
No. This is the last sentence of the chapter, so here we go.
So, here we go. I thought you meant me to bite it off. Isn't that why you put it to up to my mouth?
Every man reading this is getting worried.
Oh, no.
No. We'll cut that out.
No. Oh, I meant be quiet, you idiot, said Rob, bleeding heavily.
So that's where we're left now.
And that's the end of the chapter?
Presumably, the next chapter, nothing that happened in this chapter matters, and we're at the hospital wing for Rob's finger.
No, that would make too much sense. Yeah. That would make too much sense because then we'd actually be continuing from the end of this chapter.
That's true.
So Rob, and also so many of the lines, people are screaming and exclaiming idiotically and fuckheadedly. But no, when Rob has his finger...
It's like, hey, what'd you do that for?
He just says it. And he's like, I'm just bleeding heavily.
Yeah.
I'm just hemorrhaging all over the place.
Well, that's the end of the chapter. Thanks for reading it.
No, thanks for having me. It feels great. It feels a little bit like Play School, reading out something on Play School. But
I'll take the laptop off you.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't mind, we just got a couple of owls have come in from the owl post.
Yeah, right.
No, if you want to leave, you can.
No. Of course I'll stick around.
Well, of course, we had the two Amy's come in again with some owls.
Yes, two Amy's now.
Yep. So the original Amy, she says, "Hey, Mike, hello back to Tim," because Tim said hello to her last week.
Well, I could pass that on. I'll see him.
Okay, and hi to whomever this week's guest's in. So that's a hi to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Amy.
Forward thinking. Can't believe it took 14 episodes to start calling it Owl Post and not emails, but we got there. She lost a point in Potter or Notter last week due to the cursed child curveball. 'Cause I did one from the cursed child. Yep. She says she's striking that from the record because as the original correspondent of the show, I think she speaks for all people when she says that the cursed child should not be considered as legitimate Harry Potter content. Well,
I like that she's decided. She's already decided. It's not a question.
It's not about JK.
Yeah. And it's not about it. It's your segment as well. She's decided, I'm going to keep my perfect score.
She is the official correspondent. Tim asked why Dumbledore is headmaster of the school when he's such a powerful wizard. Obviously hasn't read the books, she says to Tim, which he did admit that he hasn't.
Loser. No, love you, Tim.
Dumbledore explains to Harry that he couldn't trust himself in a position of power and turned down the offers to be Minister of Magic. And then she remembers a funny Simpsons quote from the Simpsons movie where the guy says, "Sir, I'm afraid you've gone man with power." And then the villain of that movie says, "Of course I have. You ever tried going mad without power? It's useless. No one listens to you." That's a little thing. So that's from Amy, the official correspondent of HP and the Bee.
Yeah, HP and the Bee. I do like that.
And Amy Harvey, the new foreign correspondent.
Yes, yeah.
Yep, great. She also says, "Hi, Mike. Apologies. The post office are all out of express hours, so hopefully this gets to you in time." It was a late email.
Nice.
She says, "An interesting question last week about Dumbledore and the amount of power a headmaster has over the entire government. Dumbledore does explain to Harry that he's been offered the Minister of Magic job many times, but doesn't trust himself with that much power."
And does she reference the same Simpsons episode?
No, she doesn't do that. But she does say, "Not sure how much safer the students are, though. The death rate at Hogwarts is suspiciously high."
Oh, yeah. Very high.
So some pretty interesting stuff there.
Sorry, this Amy versus Amy competition has got to be... Well, I mean, it's on brand with the podcast of re-explaining everything more than once.
Yeah.
Because
we have to do it.
I'm kind of thinking that maybe these Amy's are the same Amy.
They're just
sending the same.
Yeah, from different email addresses. Yeah. A lot of people were angry at Tim about his comment about Dumbledore only being the headmaster of the school.
Oh, good. I was angry at him too, but for many other reasons.
This person, Ganondorf, which is a mix of Ganondorf from Legend of Zelda and Bort from The Simpsons, he says, "In response to Tim's concern of the world's most powerful wizard being headmaster of the school, so many of the people I know who ducked school highest ATAR went into teaching. So a big defense of teaching there.
Yeah, no, but I get the other arguments. That one, I don't like that argument because, I mean, that's just people who couldn't let go of school. That was the only time they succeeded in their life, and now they're back.
Now they're back, yeah.
That was a bit of projection.
Two more hours. One from Star Wars Porg 07.
Yeah.
Who might be listening to the wrong podcast, might not be.
Hey, and apologies because I have taken every username Star Wars Porg 1 through 6. So...
hey Mike, I just listened to the latest HP and the B. I noticed that there was no Derrick is a disgrace to all wizards, which has happened most chapters. It didn't happen
in this one either.
Yeah, so we've given that a rest. But other than that, this episode is among one of the best. I assume that was Tim's one.
No, let's assume it's this one. I think it's safe to assume that.
Finally, an owl came in from Dayan, who said, another excellent episode this week. I literally laughed out loud multiple times and even had a friend I bumped into on the street ask me what I was smiling about. This podcast is added to my regular podcasts and you can never stop making it, which sucks because I thought eventually we'd stop.
I'm sorry, but we're 14 chapters in. Were you thinking about halfway through this book?
Yeah.
Is this the only...
There's 7 books.
There's 7 books.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say this will never be stopped.
I could die before. It could be a George R. Martin where people are like, "Will we get the last one?"
It could be a Richard Harris. You die and I'm gonna take
over.
over, which no one wants.
This has been super fun. You've got a notepad. Is there anything else you want to bring up before we go?
This will make it so not worth it if there is anything. I won a trivia thing last year during lockdown.
Yeah.
With a Harry Potter win, which is great. And it was because we had to bid on how many actors you could name from Harry Potter.
Oh,
not
interesting.
characters, actors.
Yeah.
17 was my bid.
I reckon I could do 25.
Really?
I think so.
Okay. Well, should we do that now or not?
Not now. No. I don't think we should do it now.
No, I don't think we should now. It's been long enough. But one of my favorite runs of one of my favorite pieces of trivia is Warwick Davis.
Yes.
Seeing
3 characters.
Of course, Grip Hook, Flitwick, and I think Harry is a baby, wasn't he? No. Baby Harry?
No, definitely wasn't that. But I think he was, if you count the 2 Flitwicks as separate characters, which I personally do, then he's 3 characters. Grip Hook, Flitwick 2. Is that
Oh,
everything?
sure. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, the thing is, okay, I don't have to say everything now because I'm assuming I'll be asked back.
Mate, I'd love to have you back.
And because, this is my second one. This is my Chamber of Secrets. And so far on the podcast, everyone's favourite is Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
So you've dealt with me for this one. My next one, it's going to be great.
And can we plug away? I've been listening to the Tim and Sammy podcast, which is super funny. If you like Tim, if you like Sammy, Tim was obviously on last week. Just a super funny podcast, so please go and listen to it. When does it come out?
Weekly at the moment, which is incredible because
it comes out.
It does come out. We do keep making it. But we took a 518-day break, but now we are back.
Which all good shows do.
Yeah. We just need the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to regroup eventually.
We foresaw the lockdown, went in a few years early.
Yeah, cool. Well, it's been really good so far. I've loved it, man, and I'm looking forward to listening.
Thank you for listening to it because you produce so much content. I assumed you listened to our podcast while making another one.
I'm currently listening to you. That was really funny, man. And do you have a show at the Comedy Fest?
Oh, yeah, I do.
You do? Cool. Yeah. What's it called?
It's called Sam Garlepp Come Again.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. Well,
Chode related?
Definitely. That'd be Sam Garlepp is it in, but anyway, oh god, cut that out.
No, I'll keep that in. That's and can people get tickets now?
Yeah, go to the Comedy Festival website. Just Sam Garlepp.
Nice.
Just look it up.
I said this when you were on last, but I would strongly recommend going. I will be going. Sam's great. The show I saw you do probably 2 years ago now was super funny, man, and I'm really excited to see you continue doing stand-up and content. So yeah,
appreciate you taking a punt.
You can go to radiomike.com.au and just follow me on Insta radio.mike and send any owls to radiomikepod@gmail.com. That's just a formality thing in case we don't get your owl. Just send an email to that as well, but I'm sure the owl will arrive. But until next time, see you later, prisoners of Azkaban. Don't get your soul sucked out by a Dementor, you idiot.
Expelliarmus, bitches. Now we finish every podcast with a Dementor's kiss. That'll be for the video list.
Bring in the Dementor.